What's up? It's editing Parmesan here. Just wanted to let you know that I look like sunscreen Stan without the sunscreen. I look like I'm burnt to a crisp in an air fryer. So just a little heads up. The lighting was kind of bad because it was still light outside, and usually I record these, nighttime. That day I had some extra time in the morning slash afternoon, so I figured I'd give my peace of mind at that time instead of at nighttime where there's a blinding light behind me and I look like I'm glowing literally. But yeah, just a little heads up. I look a little different, but the vibes are still there, so just bear with me. Hope you enjoy the video. What's up, sports fans? Today I'm going to try something different and actually use a script to gather my thoughts for the video. I figured something more structured would be, better for the topic at hand, but I'm still gonna ad lib and shit and stuff like that. But there's gonna be a little more structure to this one, just because it's a topic I'm kind of interested to yap about. So yeah. So I don't know if you guys are as tapped in as I am, but I've been seeing the ads for the new SpongeBob movie constantly while I'm like doom scrolling on Instagram. And it's not like that notable in of itself. I'm not gonna go watch the movie. I'm not that interested in modern SpongeBob. But what really intrigued me was the fact that they're using Ice Spice in their promotional material, and I thought that was crazy. And for you Neanderthals that don't know who Ice Spice is, like keep it a stack. And I'm sure that made your brain work into overtime there, figuring out what I'm talking about. But if you know, you know. All right, if you know, you know. Now, two things I have to say about this. One, why the hell would they choose Ice Spice? She writes song about shaking ass and calling people hoes and stuff like that. And it's just like, why ask her to make a kids movie song? It's kind of confusing. But I have a theory that I will get into soon, as to why they picked Ice Spice. And two, I don't like the look of the fish that she has in the movie slash trailer. I think it looks really goofy. I think they could have done a better job implementing her as a character in the movie because it's literally just a random ass like female fish model with the Ice Spice wig attached. And I'm 99% sure she doesn't even rock that hairstyle anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was just the 2022 era. But I could be totally wrong. I'm not an Ice Spice enthusiast or anything, so I'm not that knowledgeable on that topic. But again, the photorealistic hair on a random animated model, it just isn't working for me personally. I mean, maybe it's not meant to appeal to a guy of my taste and standards, but just not a big fan. Something really funny I did see online was that people were talking about how they were making her sit down in the music video because they released like a separate music video like with the in-person Ice Spice. And they made her sit down in a roller coaster seat because part of the movie is they go on a roller coaster, I guess. And people were talking about how they had to do that to make sure she wasn't just twerking during the music video because that's kind of her like default animation. That's what she's known for. If you've seen any of the clips of her concerts, it's literally she cannot stand still. It has to be just constant motion. Now, I have a theory that I did not see discussed online as to why they chose Ice Spice, and it's because I just think we're not expanding our brains enough. So, she released a song called Bikini Bottom. It's an acclaimed song, by the way. I think it was nominated for a couple Emmys back in its time. Uh, but yeah, it's called Bikini Bottom, and it has no correlation to Bikini Bottom or SpongeBob or whatever besides like the title card, I guess, was in the SpongeBob style. Uh, there's literally nothing else related. But I think that some execs up at that are in charge of SpongeBob or Nickelodeon or Paramount or something, they saw that and were like, "Yeah, this is the person we're going to use because she has a song that's related to one of our shows." And I think that's the only thought process that went through uh, making this decision. I would play it right now. I don't really know how copyright works with that kind of stuff, so I'm just gonna kind of do my own version, my little acapella version. How can I lose if I'm already chose? Like, if she feeling hot, then I make the bitch frozen. I get a bit tight every time that I pose. Damn, with the party not lit, then I'd rather not go. Why would I go? If she's feeling hot, then I make the bitch frozen. I get a bit tight every time that I pose. Damn. Anyways, that was like part of what I wanted to talk about because again, I don't think it's that notable. Like, sure, it's kind of crazy that they picked it, but that's not a whole topic to make a video around. I think the other side that is kind of related is all like the innuendos and shit like that that I saw in the promotional material. I just thought it was really weird because again, SpongeBob was a kid's show, and I don't know how it goes nowadays. And I know back in the day they had like little innuendos for the parents to get, but this is more like explicit. Like this stuff is like you just look at it and you kind of grimace. You're like, why is this in my SpongeBob movie? And I'm not like concerned that it's about SpongeBob because SpongeBob is an adult. Like he can do whatever he wants. He has his own autonomy over himself. But he's a really immature adult. He basically acts like a kid. I think if you showed SpongeBob to the average non SpongeBob watcher, whoever you are, they'd think he was a kid, like wholly and completely. So yeah, I just think it's kind of weird that they're making such a childish character act this sort of way, in the movie. And I'll show you some examples. So, for example, right, because SpongeBob Big Guy Pants okay. The big part is the big guy. And so one of the trailers I keep seeing is he lifts a weight, right? He goes like, "Ugh." It's a joke in the show that he has a weight that has like two stuffed animals on the side because he's so weak, but he manages to lift it here over his head because he's a big guy. And then he does a little hip thrust toward the camera. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'm good, but I'll show you a little clip. Now, maybe it's just me, but those eyes make it look like SpongeBob wants to have like intercourse with me, like do the devil's tango with me. And I don't think I'm looking too far into this because his little celebration, his little celebratory dwork or hip thrust, that's not a booyah, all right? Booyahs are different. Booyahs are like, ugh, like I'm fine with doing a booyah because you get your hands, you go, it's like a booyah. That's not a booyah, all right? There's no hand movement, so that's just straight up thrusting your hips at me, SpongeBob, and I don't appreciate that. And it's mostly just the eyes. If it was just a little hip thrust, there's some leeway there, but the eyes, the eyes make him look ravenous. This is a more mild example, of course. It gets good, or good. I don't know. It gets worse as we continue. But again, here's another mild example. It's Patrick doing a little dance during the song, and he's all up in his feelings, right? It's Patrick's going through it because he's doing a little twerking, right? He's getting a little shimmy, little you know. He's shaking some ass, by the way. That's notable. And he's biting his lip, and I think it's a concoction, right, of all three of those things that just make it look so weird, right? And even when he's shaking some ass, he's looking back at you with his lips bitten. Still, he's not breaking eye contact. He's just like that. And he's given the same exact eye as SpongeBob was before. So I don't know if they're colluding as some sort of tag team here, but it's just kind of weird. Like I don't know. I just feel a little put off, considering I grew up watching this show, and I've seen these characters in like the most childish situations, and they've never acted like this. Like they've never even gotten close to this. I think ever since the original creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, passed away, they kind of just done whatever they wanted to SpongeBob, and I think they're leaning towards more of a immature, like I don't know, like it's just weird. I don't, it's just weird. It's different from the SpongeBob I grew up with, and again, I don't watch the show nowadays. I don't know if that's just a change they've done in general. I can't bring myself to watch the show nowadays because it looks like they're just beating a dead horse. It's depressing. It's depressing to watch. But yeah, I just don't think it fits SpongeBob at all. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm looking too far into this. But then we get into the good stuff or bad stuff, depending on how you look at it. So I was watching, the promotional material through like the trailers, and I already found enough content to make this video, but I was just doing it for the shits and giggles, right? I was just like, I'm gonna be thorough with this. So I watched the trailer all the way through, right? It doesn't look that bad. It's kind of animated well. But at the very end of this one trailer, this shit happens, and I'm not gonna like. I'll recreate it, right? I'll humor you, but I'm not gonna show you the clip because I don't know. You don't need to see this shit. Like you can look it up if you want. But SpongeBob is going like okay, you can see it, but like he's going like he's putting his hand on his head, and he's rotating his body like this, right? He's giving some centrifugal motion, okay, and he has some like weird plant kelp shit on his like torso pelvis area. I think in the trailer it was like they thought it was their guts or something until they found out it wasn't. I think it was some random plant on the ground because they fell from a large height. I think I didn't look at it too deeply, but it it looks weird, right? It's located in that area of his body, and he's going like this, and he's swinging that shit around like a flail, right? And then Patrick's over there, and he's just taking it, and there's layers to this. He's taking it on the ass, by the way. All right, SpongeBob has some tactical precision. He is aiming for Patrick's like buttocks. All right, which is crazy in of itself. And Patrick isn't. Look at his face. It's not a face of annoyance or pain. He's like shocked, right? And he goes, "Oh." And this isn't a one-time thing, right? SpongeBob goes for it 3 times, the triple pointer, all right? The three hit combo. He goes 3 times like that. And Patrick's like he doesn't give a fuck. He looks like he enjoys it, as a matter of fact. I don't think that's a stretch of the imagination. And then it also just looks weird because Patrick also has his little, you know, endowment down there. It just looks weird, right? And look at SpongeBob's eyes. Do not tell me. Even his face, he's smiling like a maniac. Do not even tell me that this does not have any sexual innuendo, because it does. It has to have it. When I first saw this, I started laughing for like 30 seconds straight, which isn't a normal thing to do. Like it's hard for like media like this to make me laugh that hard. But it wasn't even because it was that funny. It was just because maybe it was because it was that funny, but just seeing this happen when I'm doing research for this video was so funny to me. It's just really off-putting at the same time because like I found evidence, but it's kind of like weird. Like I don't like it. I don't like how SpongeBob looks. I don't know what they did to my boy, but they kind of turned him evil or some shit, or like a deviant, you know. But maybe it's just not my kind of thing. Maybe it's more of a younger generation like humor thing. But yeah, that was notable. And then the last thing here is the main reason I wanted to make this video. So they put up a billboard to promote this movie, which is a normal thing that, you know, movie studios do to, like, you know, get some hype going. And I just saw it and I was like, what the hell are they doing to my boy? Again, all right, we can go through the things. His eyes, why do they look like that? Why is he squinting a little at me like mischievously? Why does he have a bow wrapped around his Johnson with the main part of the bow on his Johnson, or where it's supposed to be? Um, couldn't have been anywhere else. Just had to be there. And he's only wearing socks, right? He has no clothes on. He just has socks and an eye patch, I guess. Why? Not even shoes, just socks. Like why? And lastly, he's lying like he wants to seduce someone. Like he's on a bed, like with a rose in his mouth, trying to seduce someone. And she's like, Jesus Christ, no means no, SpongeBob. I'm good. I'm personally good. I don't know if he's trying to pull someone or what, but like it's just all of this shit for the same movie. It's not even spread out or diversified throughout like what I've seen. It's just this movie. And this is just ultimately like weird to me as a SpongeBob viewer and days old. Um so yeah, I don't know what rabbit hole I'm going down here, but like I don't know. I'm not gonna watch the movie anyways, and I'm pretty sure it's not that big of a deal. They've done this plenty of times in childhood shows and shit like that for the parents. I don't know if this is explicit enough for the kids to get it, because if it's at that point, then it gets really weird. But I think the parents understand that, like, you know. And okay, this is my other shit, like Patrick wearing a thong, like an eye patch as a thong, which is like kind of funny. But it just like it's just so many like stacks. It just stacks upon itself over and over again. And I just thought it was notable to point out. I don't really have anything else to say. I know SpongeBob's done this before, like with Patrick and the fishnet like boot thing at the end of one of the movies. But that was funny because it was unexpected, and he's kind of rocking it. Like they made him extra tall for some reason. It was really funny. This is different. This is not even like this is like it's not even meant to shock you. It's just more like, why? Like, why did they do this? But yeah, I just wanted to like yap about this a bit. I thought it was interesting enough to do so, and yeah, I just need to like trauma dump, I guess. I don't like what they did. But yeah, peace. See you guys some other time. What's up, guys? Editing Jonathan. Number dos numero two. Sorry if I look a little beaten up. I'm trying to finish editing this video, and I did. Besides, integrating this into it, because I just want to get it done and over with, and it's kind of late right now. So yeah, I look a little distressed. But don't worry, you don't need to save me. I'm doing just okay on my own. I just wanted to clarify something. I think throughout the video, or just in general, it kind of comes off that I'm very like concerned or hurt about this topic, and that like I come off as like a snowflake, and genuinely, I really could care less about what they're doing here with SpongeBob. I understand that it's like a new era for SpongeBob, a new age, and how society has kind of changed, our generations have changed, and even though I might not like or appreciate what they're doing with the movie, I can acknowledge that it's for a different audience. I just think it's kind of weird to see such a beloved childhood character go to shit like this, but at the end of the day, if the kids eat it up, the kids eat it up, and I think some older people will still eat it up because it's SpongeBob, and you know, he's an icon. He's a unstoppable icon in the public zeitgeist. So yeah, I didn't want to come off at the end of the day like I care really deeply about this topic and that like I'm really hurt by it because I'm really not, but just wanted something to yap about, and yeah, stay tuned for a new video coming out soon. It'll be like really shortly. I'm not even gonna try to edit it all that much because it'll just be like another little mini rant. It's an epilogue to the main rant that I had that was like 40 minutes. The universe is testing me, whatever. Um, it's just a little epilogue, so you know it'll be really easy to put out. And then in other news, today was the day of my final classes for college. So I all I have to do is the exams, and I'm back home. And I guess I work too, but like once I get back home, it's all good. And so I'll have a lot of free time over winter break to just edit. I don't know what I'm gonna put out during that time period, but I'll find something to. But yeah, just stay tuned for more shit to watch, or if you enjoy it, I don't know. I kind of just make these as like a library to look back on and you know show some random people if they need to catch up on my lore as a person. So yeah, just that's all I wanted to say. Um, Good night, peace out. See you on the flip side. Damn, that was tough.